and welcome to today's special episode of our podcast where we sit down with officers of PFRDA, India's pension regulator, and decode important financial decisions for central government employees. I'm your host, Shreya. Today, we are focusing on a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz, Unified Pension Scheme or UPS, a topic that sparked a lot of discussion and curiosity. Since its introduction, many employees are wondering, should I stay with NPS or is UPS the better choice for me? To help us decode this, joining us today are two key voices from the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, Ms. Sumit Kaur, Executive Director at PFRDA, and Shri Guneet Singh Anand, Assistant Manager at PFRDA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Happy to be here.
Let's start with our first segment. What's UPS and what's new in UPS since April 2025? NPS was introduced mandatorily for central government employees since January 2004 and since been running successfully. Then what was the need for the government to launch UPS, Ms. Kapoor?
Absolutely very important question and a very basic question. So both NPS and UPS are the schemes that are run by the central government. And NPS was giving a very good market return. However, the feedback from the ground was that there is no inflation indexation. Secondly, there is a market uncertainty. So because of the volatility in the market, the pension payouts are uncertain. The subscribers were not comfortable with this. So in order to deal with these two issues, the central government decided to come out with UPS. Now, when they came out with UPS, they added some features to NPS. So I love to call it NPS Plus. So it's NPS Plus then there is a central government assurance to it. And what do they assure? They assure four major things. One, first you get 50% of your last basic pay. That's 12 months average of your last basic pay. And then you also get dearness relief on that. Thirdly, the family, the spouse, the legally wedded spouse gets 60% of the last assured payout to the subscriber. Over and above all this, there is one extra thing that has been added, that is one-time lump sum. And that one-time lump sum is 1/10 of your last basic pay. And this is for 6 months of your salary. So if you worked for 20 years, you get 4 months of your salary. So these are added benefits that have been added. So NPS plus central government assurance.
So UPS has been in the spotlight since its launch in April 2025, and the government has made several amendments and issued clarifications to make the scheme more appealing. Ms. Kapoor, would you walk us through those key changes?
Absolutely. So the government has been very sensitive to the needs and clarifications required by the subscriber so that the subscriber is able to make informed choices. So they have come out with a lot of things in the last few months. The first important thing is the government has allowed one-way, one-time switch from UPS to NPS. Secondly, they have clarified that you get the gratuity. As you were getting in NPS, you will get the same gratuity. Thirdly, the tax benefits that are there on NPS, the same tax benefits apply to UPS also. Another important thing is the VRS. Initially, UPS said that you needed 25 years of qualifying service to get VRS, but now that has been reduced to 20 years, although the payout would be proportionate. So a lot of changes that has been brought out.
Thank you, Ms. Kapoor. That was quite insightful. So moving on to our next segment, switching from UPS to NPS. Along with the features of UPS, there is also a special provision, a one-time, one-way switch option available to subscribers. Ms. Kapoor, could you explain what exactly happens when a UPS subscriber chooses to switch over to NPS?
Yes. So, as I said, the government has brought in that flexibility where the subscriber can move from UPS to NPS till the age of 59 years of age. So whenever the subscriber decides to switch back to NPS, number one, the 14% contribution is restored. That means the person will start getting 14% of co-contribution from the government. Number two, during the period when that person was in UPS, he got only 10% of the co-contribution. So the differential 4% of co-contribution is credited into the NPS account. Besides the growth that happened on that 4% co-contribution, that is also credited back. The person now no longer is under the UPS framework, so the assured benefits will not accrue to that person. However, you will be regulated by the NPS exit regulations.
Again, for clarity, I asked that while in UPS I will get only plus 10% in my plan, when I switch back to NPS, will I suffer a loss of 4% government contribution?
Absolutely. The government has ensured that there is no financial loss whatsoever to the subscriber if he or she switches back to NPS. So, abundant clarity, I would like to say that 4% contribution that was accruing during the period the person was in UPS, entire amount will be credited to his or her plan. Number two, whatever growth, the market growth was there during this period would also be credited. So, the person will get the benefit of whatever compounding or whatever you call it, the returns will accrue back in his NPS account.
Thank you, ma'am. Guneet, could you tell us how many years of service a subscriber must complete to become eligible for UPS benefits?
Yes, Shreya. So basically, if a subscriber has completed a minimum 10 years of qualifying service and is superannuating after that, so then he will be eligible to get all the UPS benefits.
Thank you. I think that was quite insightful. So moving on to our next segment now. Is UPS as flexible as NPS? Ms. Kapoor, if an NPS subscriber opts for UPS, will he lose all his accumulated corpus in NPS plan?
No, what happens is this is simply a method of migrating from NPS to UPS. So the person was having an NPS plan that simply gets retagged to UPS plan. The plan number remains the same, and whatever accumulated corpus was there in his NPS plan, that gets transferred to the UPS plan. So he will not lose the accumulated corpus.
In case of NPS subscribers who have retired before 31st March 2025, if they make a claim for UPS, will they have to return back the lump sum withdrawal or surrender the annuity?
Not at all. So any person who has retired before 31st March 2025 and was an NPS subscriber, they have already availed the benefits of NPS. They do not have to return back the cash or the lump sum withdrawal that they took. They do not have to return back the annuity. But if they apply, what they will get is one-time lump sum. They will get the monthly top-up amount. They will get the DR on that. And the family also becomes eligible to the 60% of payout. Besides that, they will also get arrears. Not only arrears, there will be interest on arrears that they will get. So I think it's a win-win situation for the past retirees. They will only benefit from it, so they must apply for it before 30th September.
That sounds like a well thought out transition process. Now, Guneet, one common belief is that UPS is less flexible than NPS. Is that accurate?
No, Shreya, actually this belief is factually wrong because UPS is offering as many flexibilities that NPS offers. Like you have the choice to choose amongst the pension fund manager, you have the choice to choose from the investment pattern with maximum equity going up to 50%, and you have the choice of partial withdrawal as that was available in NPS, and you also have the choice of getting a final withdrawal. That is, you can withdraw 60% of your corpus at the time of retirement. So that flexibility is also there, and as the ma'am said, one-time switch facility has been provided to UPS subscribers. So if any day he decides that NPS is giving me better pension, so he can switch towards NPS. So that facility is also being provided.
Thank you so much for the insights, Guneet. Moving on to our next segment that focuses on voluntary retirement. Ms. Kapoor, what benefits are available under UPS if a subscriber decides to take voluntary retirement?
So a person can take voluntary retirement after 20 years of service, although the full assured payout will accrue only after 25 years of the qualifying service. Now, as soon as the person takes VRS, that person can withdraw 60% of the corpus as final withdrawal. The person will also get one-time lump sum, that is 1/10 of the salary for every 6 months that he has worked. Besides, the assured payout will begin at the age of 60 or the deemed date of superannuation. However, the person is also eligible to opt for one-time switch back to NPS. So that facility is also available.
And what if I want to switch to NPS if I plan to take VRS?
Yeah, absolutely. That facility is available. So the person, if he decides to take VRS, 3 months before the VRS, that person can switch back to NPS if he wants to.
So, as I understand that in VRS, the payout shall start from the deemed date of superannuation. However, in case if the subscriber has taken VRS with deferred assured payout and dies before commencement of payout and other benefits, what are the benefits available to the spouse?
Absolutely, the spouse is well taken care of. The government has come out with a clarification saying that in case of a unfortunate demise of a subscriber between the time period he took the VRS and the payout, the assured payout started, the spouse becomes eligible for 60% of the assured payout immediately on the death of the subscriber. So the spouse is well taken care of.
Taking this forward to our next segment, cases of resignation, removal or dismissal from service and compulsory retirement. What happens in case of removal or dismissal from service, Guneet?
So basically, if a subscriber is being removed or dismissed from service, then they will be getting their entire accumulated corpus as a one-time payment in their bank account.
And Guneet, what happens in case of resignation from service?
Yes, then also the treatment is same, but in case of resignation, a subscriber always has an option to switch back to NPS. That one-time switch facility is available. So if he exercises that facility, then he will be switched back to NPS. Or if he doesn't exercise that facility, then he will be eligible to get the individual corpus as a one-time payment in their bank account.
Great. Ms. Kapoor, what happens in case of compulsory retirement as a penalty?
So in case there is a compulsory retirement which is as a penalty, in that particular case also the subscriber is able to get the assured payout. The only thing is it might be reduced in accordance with the penalty that is levied by the competent authority. So the competent authority is able to, they can order the deduction up to 1/3 of the assured payout. So the minimum the subscriber would get is 2/3 of the assured payout or of the admissible payout, and the maximum is the admissible payout. So that depends upon the penalty levying authority.
Thank you, ma'am. And moving on to our next segment now, UPS versus NPS. Guneet, we know NPS allows 60% corpus withdrawal at retirement. What about UPS?
Yes, so UPS is also allowing you to withdraw up to 60% of your corpus at the time of retirement. So any day when you retire, so you can withdraw this 60% amount, and that facility has been provided in UPS also.
Great. Our next segment is reduced benefits for early retirement or partial withdrawals. Ms. Kapoor, one concern we hear often is that the 50% assured pension in UPS reduces if the subscriber has less than 25 years of service or makes partial withdrawal. How does that work?
Yeah, so we're all aware that UPS and NPS both are number one, employee linked schemes. Number two, they are also related to the funds that are put in the scheme. That means it's a funded scheme. It depends upon the contributions received. So either if you have lesser years of service or you withdraw, whether it's partial withdrawal or final withdrawal, naturally the corpus would come down, and in both NPS and UPS the benefits would reduce. So it's the same in both the cases. However, there is a redeeming feature in case of UPS. You can always put back the money. So if you put back the money, your corpus increases and you can always get back the 50% assured, the payouts. So you can always do that.
I think that's quite flexible. So our next segment, benefits in case of death of the subscriber. Now, a sensitive but important question. What happens in case of death during service, Guneet?
Yes, Shreya, that is a very important question. In case a subscriber dies while in service, then the OPS benefit, OPS pension, that is old pension scheme benefits, are available to his family. So for this, what he'll have to do, while applying for UPS, he will have to also give a Form 1 wherein he gives the consent for the OPS in case of death. So this Form 1 I am talking about has been provided in the UPS rules, so that using this Form 1, he can take the OPS benefits.
So as earlier mentioned, where the minimum pension of rupees 10,000 is guaranteed to spouse under UPS.
Basically, whatever the pension subscriber was getting, whatever the payout subscriber was getting, the spouse of that subscriber shall be eligible to get 60% of that amount. So whatever the amount was available to subscriber, 60% of that will be paid to spouse.
Okay. And is gratuity also available under UPS, Ms. Kapoor?
Absolutely. Gratuity is available as was available in case of NPS. And this is over and above the one-time lump sum that is being given by the government.
And our next segment is how to apply for UPS. How can a central government employee apply for UPS, Guneet?
Basically, a new joinee, they can apply using Form A1 that has been provided. This can be done either through online mode by logging into the CRA website, or through physical mode by submitting the physical application form to their nodal office. And for the employees who are already in service and those who wish to migrate to UPS, they can do it by using Form A2. Again, this is also available online as well as in the physical mode.
If an NPS subscriber has retired, can he or she also get the benefit?
Yes, they are also entitled to get the UPS benefit. Suppose a subscriber has retired before 31st March 2025. So then they can apply for the added UPS benefit by using Form B2. And in case the subscriber is not there, then his or her spouse, they can apply using Form B4 or B6. These application forms are available in the online mode also, and also in the physical mode. So for the online mode, they can log into the CRA website and they can apply through there. And for physical mode, they will have to give us physical form to their nodal office, DDO, PO or head of office, and then they will be able to opt for this scheme.
And what about the spouses of deceased subscribers?
Yes, so as I said, the spouses of the deceased subscriber, they can apply using Form B4 and B6.
And moving on to my next question, how can those central government employees whose PRAN have not generated yet they can apply for UPS?
Yeah, so there could be some central government employees who have just joined and their PRANs have not been generated. So these subscribers should also fill up the form. They could fill up the A1 form and give it physically to the nodal office in case they are not able to apply online. They must do it before 30th of September. So wherever, if they're in the training agency, they can give it to their training agency or training academy, or they can give it to the nodal office, or they can give it to their cadre controlling authority. So they must submit the form before 30th September.
So our last and final segment, where we'll talk about the final thoughts, UPS versus NPS. So the big question, what is better, UPS or NPS? I would like Ms. Kapoor to start with.
So it's $1 million question actually. So I think there is no one size fits all solution to it. And that solution I don't think will occur today. Because UPS and NPS is dependent upon lots of parameters. And these parameters might change over the period of a person's service. So closer to retirement, you would be clear about a lot of things. You know what your family situation is. You know what your health situation is. You know what returns the market has already delivered. So a lot of clarity comes to you when you're closer to the retirement. So I think the best decision, the informed decision, would be taken closer to the retirement. And for that, if you want to decide at that point of time, please keep your options open. And the only way you can keep your options open is act and submit the UPS migration form by 30th September. Because if you don't, then you stay in NPS and the only option you have is NPS. So please keep your options open. That is my sincere advice. You can always go back to NPS. There is one-time, one-switch facility. And the decision will be taken best before retirement at 59 years of age. Till then you can decide anytime. Even if you take VRS, even if you resign, you can always go back to NPS. So keep your options open. I think that would be the prudent thing to do.
I think that's a very flexible option given to the central government employees. So, Guneet, for you, since you are a young professional, what are your thoughts on UPS for the young central government employees?
Yes, as ma'am said, it's always good to have both the eggs in the basket. So at a later date, you can decide which one is better for you. So it is prudent that one migrate to UPS right now, and at a later date when they are closer to their retirement, they can decide which option is best. So it's always good to have both the options at your disposal.
So I have one last question for you, Mr. Guneet. Is there any website or calculator where I can see which scheme is better for me?
Yes. So basically, there are a lot of calculators going around in the market. But what I would suggest is the official calculator that has been provided in the NPS Trust website. So you can visit that calculator. You can, feed in some parameters like your date of birth, date of joining, current salary and everything. And you can easily calculate what kind of returns will you be getting in both the schemes, what kind of benefits you will be getting in both the schemes. So npstrust.org.in, that is the website. So you can visit and you can check the benefits.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kapoor and Mr. Anand, for breaking this down in such a clear and balanced way. To our listeners, I remember a very famous quote which explains power of choice very nicely, stating that one option is a path to our power. With choice comes control. So do your research and act before the 30th September deadline to make the most informed decision. Thank you.